I need a mother for my daughters. You need shelter. Widowed human proposed to the outcast alien woman. The wind howled across the abandoned colony, carrying with it the sting of sand and the loneliness of a place left behind. Ethan Hale pulled his tattered coat tighter around himself as he leaned against the half-collapsed wall of his homestead. His daughters, Lily and Mara, slept inside, huddled together for warmth. Their breaths were shallow, their faces too thin, their eyes shadowed by hunger. Ethan knew they couldn't survive another winter like this. He had tried everything, hunting the few scrawny beasts that prowled the outskirts, trading scavenged parts with passing caravans, even swallowing his pride and appealing to the nearby settlement. But the settlement had turned their back on him after his wife died. They called him cursed, a magnet for tragedy. He couldn't convince them otherwise. Then one evening, as the twin suns dipped low, he saw her. A lone figure trudging across the dunes, wrapped in torn gray cloth, had bowed against the wind. An alien woman. Her scaled skin caught the fading light, a strange sheen of pale silver that marked her as different from the tribes he'd known. She stumbled and nearly collapsed near the edge of his field. Ethan approached cautiously, shotgun slung but not raised. "Easy," he called. "I don't want trouble." The woman lifted her head, revealing striking amber eyes, bright, defiant, yet weary. Her voice rasped from a dry throat. "Shelter. I need shelter." Ethan hesitated. Aliens weren't trusted around here. Some were raiders, others smugglers. And yet, she looked nothing like a threat. She looked like someone who'd been cast out, someone clinging to survival just as desperately as his girls. He lowered his weapon. "Come inside. Before the cold takes you." Her name was Syrah. She spoke little that first night, but Ethan noticed how carefully she moved, as though afraid to break the fragile peace of his home. Lily peeked at her from behind a blanket, while little Mara clung to her father's arm. "She's not going to hurt us," Ethan reassured them, though he wasn't entirely sure himself. "She just needs a place to stay." Syrah sat by the fire, her eyes reflecting the flames. Scars lined her forearms, hidden poorly beneath the cloth. When Ethan offered her stew, a thin broth with scraps of meat, she bowed her head and whispered, "Thank you." Days turned into weeks. Syrah helped repair the roof, gather firewood, even mend Lily's torn dress with stitches more delicate than Ethan's clumsy hands could manage. Slowly, the girls warmed to her. Mara began to follow her around, mimicking her movements, while Lily asked endless questions about where she came from. But whenever Ethan asked, Sarah's answers were vague. "Your people cast you out," he guessed one night. Her jaw tightened. "I was not enough. Not mother. Not warrior. Not worthy." Her voice cracked on the last word, and Ethan let it drop. Winter deepened. Supplies dwindled. Ethan lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He thought of his daughters, two little souls who needed more than he could give. He thought of his late wife, and the promise he had made to protect their children no matter the cost. And he thought of Syrah, sleeping by the hearth, her face softened in dreams. One morning, after a harsh storm, he found her outside chopping frozen wood with efficient strength. Her breath came in steady clouds, her eyes focused. Something in him shifted then, an idea both desperate and wild. When she noticed him, he stepped closer. "Syrah," he said, voice low, "I need to ask you something." She stilled, the axe poised in her hands. "What is it?" "I can't keep doing this alone. My daughters, they need more than a father who's half-broken. They need a mother. Someone strong. Someone who cares." He swallowed hard. "You need shelter, a place where you belong. Maybe we could give that to each other." Her amber eyes widened. "You mean marriage?" He nodded. "I know it's not what you dreamed of, but I treat you with respect. And my girls, they already trust you." Syrah's chest rose and fell sharply. She turned away, gripping the axe until her knuckles whitened. For a long time, the only sound was the wind through the barren fields. "Finally," she whispered, "no one has ever asked me to belong. Not like this." She set the axe down and faced him. "If your daughters accept me, then yes. I will be your wife." The girl's reaction surprised Ethan. Mara squealed and hugged Sarah tightly. "Does this mean you'll stay forever?" she asked with wide eyes. Sarah smiled faintly and nodded. "Forever." Lily was more cautious. "But you're not like us," she said bluntly. Sarah met her gaze, without flinching.
"No.
"I am not. But I will protect you.
Care for you.
Teach you what I know. If you let me." After a long pause, Lily slipped her small hand into Sarah's. "Okay." Something in Ethan's chest eased for the first time in years. Life changed after that. Sarah took her role seriously. She hunted with a bow she crafted herself, teaching the girls how to track prints in the snow. She sang them strange lullabies in her native tongue, low and haunting yet soothing. She even confronted a pack of scavenger beasts one night, driving them off with nothing but a burning torch and a roar that echoed like thunder. Ethan watched her with growing admiration. The bond between her and his daughters blossomed quickly. Mara called her Mama Sarah within weeks, while Lily began confiding in her about fears she never told Ethan. And between Ethan and Sarah, something deeper grew, born not of passion at first, but of mutual respect, necessity, and quiet gratitude. He found himself seeking her gaze at supper, lingering in her presence, listening to her laughter when it finally returned. But peace never lasted long on this harsh world. One spring morning, a patrol from the settlement arrived. 5 men on armored crawlers, rifles gleaming. Their leader sneered when he saw Sarah. "You're harboring that," he spat. "An outcast alien? No wonder your farm struggles. You've cursed it even worse." Ethan's hand tightened around his tool, but before he could reply, Sarah stepped forward. Her posture was regal, unyielding. "I am his wife. These are my daughters. If you threaten them, you threaten me." The men laughed cruelly. "A beast calling herself a wife? You've gone mad, Hale." Ethan's temper snapped. "Better a beast who loves than cowards who abandon their own," he shouted. The patrol left with threats, but they never returned. Word spread that Ethan Hale and his alien wife defended their homestead together, and no raiders dared test them. Years passed. The fields grew green again, thanks to Sarah's knowledge of wild herbs and alien crops. Lily and Mara grew tall and strong, inheriting both their mother's fire and their father's grit. Ethan often sat on the porch in the evenings, watching Sarah braid Mara's hair while Lily read aloud from salvaged books. One evening, as the sun sank low, Ethan slipped an arm around Sarah's shoulders. She leaned into him without hesitation. "Do you regret it?" he asked quietly. "Choosing us?" Sarah shook her head, her amber eyes glowing in the dusk.
"No.
I was cast out because I was not enough. But here, with you with them, I am everything I was meant to be." Ethan kissed her forehead, his chest full of peace he never thought he'd feel again. "And we're more than we ever hoped for," he whispered.